I'm back, Greg, Go-autoworks. Thanks for checking back in. I wanted to stop today again to introduce or do an intro on one of the builds we're doing. It's this Boss 302 Mustang, big turbo car that we're going in and doing a lot of fab and fixing on the car to get it proper and get it to work well on the street. It's a built motor car. The backstory being that the car was taken to another shop, actually two shops, and not done to the owner's standard, so it was brought here to get some fixing and some fab done on the car to get it right, get it to run right, and make the power that it should be making on the street, make it competitive, and make it reliable. So we're trying to tackle all those things and get it done the right way. Now again, the car came in already turboed. It had one of the on-3 turbo kits, and this isn't to knock or slander anybody. They put together a decent kit to, market to the people that they market to. The kit was on it, and it just had some things that could have been done nicer per this specific application, so that's what we're going to do. The car came in, it had an 88mm turbo on it, which is a lot of turbo for a street car, more than what this particular setup needed. So you can definitely change the turbo size to make it more usable and more beneficial per your application. So we went down, let me back up. The turbo is also pouring oil out the compressor side, so it needed to be replaced anyway. So what we did is we went with a 76-75 precision unit, which is going to bring the power in a lot sooner, make it much more enjoyable to drive and a lot more usable, and just be better all around. So we kept the T4 frame. We're still using the on-3 manifolds, and we're having to change everything else around it. So going with the new turbo, it still had the factory single core radiator in it, which with as much packed in this bay as it has, could definitely be upgraded. And that's where you come to the spot to where everything on paper should work out and bolt right in, but it doesn't. We went with a triple core Mishimoto radiator, which the radiator fits fine, but I knew as tight as it was already when it came, that when I went to the triple core, there was going to be some trimming, some notching that had to be done to get the radiator sit back in and still clear the manifold, which it barely cleared before, but with the trimming Ryan did and the notching out of the front support, we got the radiator sit back up and clear fine like it would from the factory. And once the radiator got in, with everything else being as tight as it was already and some of the pieces not really fitting, I knew that the charge pipe and the down pipe would have to change. So I'm at the point now where I'm building the new charge pipe set, fitting up the new down pipe, which it has a bumper exit down pipe, and just getting everything to go back together nicely, and not rubbing as it was before installed on the car. Like before, the manifolds rubbed the down pipe. The manifolds also rubbed the radiator bracket. So when you're sitting in the car, when I first pulled it in and you crank it up, you can literally feel it transfer through the car. It's like a Civic when you put solid mounts in it, or I guess anything when you put solid mounts in it, you feel the motor transfer or the motor vibration transfer through the car. You can feel that in this. And, you tap the gas and you feel the vibration. And what we wanted to do is get rid of that and make sure everything fit, cleared, didn't rub against each other, to make it just idle smoother or feel smoother at idle, and help get rid of a lot of vibrations and a lot of things that will come along with vibration in the car, such as loose bolts and stuff that's working itself apart or rubbing and clearancing holes in itself. So we got everything to fit properly, and now it's time to get it back apart and start doing more welding. I'm going to mark up the blow-off valve flange location, the IAT flange location, the MAF flange location, and get it back off the car so I can get ready to put it in the pile to weld this week. So what I'll do now is stop running my mouth and show you close up on the car and kind of point out a few things.
Ovation, 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 ovation. I love it, 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 I love it.
one of the big things is on the charge piping. There's nothing holding these together right now. They just fit. I got it to be a tight fit. So the only coupler on each side are going to be right here. There's one on the other side and one right here. Outside of that, there's a coupler at the throttle body and a coupler at the turbo. I'm going to weld the elbows to the tanks, so it'll be an easy fit, and in case it ever has to come apart, it'll be easy to get it off the car and not have to worry about lining a bunch of couplers up or blowing couplers off. Now I'm going to go ahead and get this ready to come off. I'm reusing the blow-off valve that came with the kit on the car already. I'll get that mounted right here. They had it mounted behind the bumper before. I'm not really sure why, but I'll go ahead and coat this down some. We'll pull the vacuum line that runs outside the car up and under the intake manifold, and it'll just come out right here and be a clean, effective install. Now you can see one of the big upgrades is I'm building the new front mount for the car and getting the older one off. It's just a better intercooler all around. I don't like the big, hate to say, the cheap intercoolers. This Garrett core is going to support over 1,000 horsepower. Keep the IETs down and in check, and do everything you want it to do. Like I've said it before, these are my favorite cores to weld with and build intercoolers with. So I have no doubt in my mind this is going to make everything work better. I'll go ahead and get this apart. Again, thanks for checking it out. I always say we got a lot going on because we always do have a lot going on. Again, we got the Del Sol B-Series project that I'm going to try to get a lot of detailed coverage on. This is a really in-depth build. We got the chassis delivered. Like I said in the last video, we're reusing a motor that we did for this customer out of another build to put into here, but we're also having to put AC back in the car, which it didn't have any of the AC pieces. And finding AC for 97 original B-Series Del Sol isn't the easiest thing to do. So I've got a lot of the lines in. We're going to start getting it all mocked back up in the car, get the harness in the car fixed. All these are little things that you have to do before we can actually get to putting the motor back in and putting all the nice stuff in the car. We got to get the basics, the essentials of the build taken care of, and not having AC wasn't an option here. So we're trying to get it how the owner wants it before we start working on the fun parts or the making power parts. I'll also show you the other Civic build I'm about to wrap up as well. The only thing left we have to do on it is finish building the catch can. It's the same Civic that we did the top mount TNX kit on that made really good power for what it was anyway. It's now getting a bigger turbo put on it. We changed it to a precision unit as well. Did a new up pipe, and I'm building a new catch can for it. So I'll get it shown as well and show you the valve cover that everybody on YouTube says that'll never work, but in actuality it works very well. So don't get caught up in comments. If I'll leave it at that. Don't get caught up in comments. I have a really good idea of how something's going to work before we do it and put it on camera. So again, if you like it, thanks. If you don't like it, thanks for watching and leaving your comment. But it works how it should work. But again, thanks to everybody for checking it out. Come back, I'll have more. I am working on the S2000 in the meantime, in between time, and we have to get started on this SC project as well. I've got a Miata coming Tuesday. It's one of our local clients that I'll try to get that on as well for the Miata people out there. It's a NB that we're putting a twin disc in. But anyway, I'm rambling. It's hot, as I always say. It's Sunday. I'm up here. I just finished building the intercooler. I'm going to stencil it, let it sit, so it can go out in one of our top mount kits this week. Again, thanks. I appreciate it.
Ovation.